Good morning, SLCA. Great to see you. Good to be back. If you know the song, I invite you to sing along. This is one that was inspired by you and written for you. Check it out. There is a space in my heart where I find the truth. I find me and you, a truth beyond what you may see now. But when we are one, we bring more good about. No matter who or what you call yourself or where you come from, yeah, there is a place in this world with open arms right now. Welcome to love, welcome to peace, welcome to our community. And be who you are and let your light shine. We're so much more when we unite. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. See with new eyes, allow and unfold. Embrace and let go. Trust the flow. There's a freedom in love when you follow your heart. Together we are stronger than we could ever be apart. No matter who or what you call yourself or where you come from, yeah, there is a place in this world with open arms right now. Welcome to love, welcome to peace, welcome to our community. And be who you are and let your light shine. We're so much more when we unite. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. And breathe in and out. Slowly feel all that's around you and all that you feel and all that you know. Let it go. Welcome to love, welcome to peace, welcome to our community. And be who you are and let your light shine. We're so much more when we unite. Yeah, when we unite. Oh, 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 oh. When we unite. Yeah, yeah. Oh, when we unite. Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You are welcome here. Love is welcome here. Peace is welcome here. You are welcome here. Great job, everybody.
Yes, we are welcome here, and welcome to the Spiritual Living Center of Atlanta, everyone. Good afternoon. I am Reverend Jean Bell. My pronouns are she and her, and I am so glad that you are with us today. If you are viewing on Facebook or YouTube Live, please like and share this broadcast so we can continue to spread the good news of new thought and science of mind out into the world. Yes? All right. Hey, I'm going to read the affirmation. I'm going to read it all the way through. And when I finish, I'm going to invite you to say it with me in one voice. All right. Spirit's everlasting love flows freely from me and manifests itself through my actions and experiences. Spirit's wisdom keeps me grounded and fills my mind with peace. I am Spirit's beloved, therefore I am loved, valued, and cared for. Drawing from this limitless source, I daily give, receive, and lead with love. Today, I open my heart to allow Spirit's eternal flame of love to light my way. All right, let's say this together as one. Spirit's everlasting love flows freely from me and manifests itself through my actions and experiences. Spirit's wisdom keeps me grounded and fills my mind with peace. I am Spirit's beloved, therefore I am loved, valued, and cared for. Drawing from this limitless source, I daily give, receive, and lead with love. Today, I open my heart to allow Spirit's eternal flame of love to light my way, and so it is. Oh, yes, it is. All right, if you are visiting for the first time, please make sure you see a welcome ambassador out in the hallway for a gift, especially for you. I have a few announcements to go through. On the first Sunday, we always have a wonderful potluck. We're actually having a potluck today, but I'll get to that in a minute. We're having a wonderful potluck where all of you are invited to bring your best and most delicious gifts to share. All right? And I do hope you do, because I love to eat. I really do. Next, on the second Sunday of every month, we have a wonderful workshop called Spiritually Curious. This is where we get to talk about everything under the sun that might have to do with spirituality, but does not necessarily have to do with science of mind. And what's the difference? And this is led so beautifully by our practitioner, Tony Jenkins. And that's Tony Jenkins right there. We're talking about new age, frequency, out-of-body experiences, everything that Ernest Holmes was like, maybe not. All right, so the next Sunday, which is the 15th, which is the third Sunday, we're going to have two things actually happen. We're going to have a wonderful satsang with Reverend Dr. David Alt and Jay Ram. We had one last Sunday, and it was outstanding, and the vibrations in this place was off the chart. And directly after that, at 6:30, so get your tickets, I'm going to get mine. We're going to have the 98th Academy Award watch party right here in the sanctuary. So make sure you're here. We're going to have all kinds of wonderful things, movie trivia. We're going to have a photo booth. There's going to be prizes. And the tickets are only $15. Come on. Get that barcode scan. And dress like your favorite Hollywood star, or come as you are. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have a lot of fun. And that's going to be hosted by our very own CJ, the DJ. All right, and then on March the 22nd, we're going to have our important SLCA town hall meetings for all of our members. All right, and it's going to be a wonderful event after service around 4:30, because we have to get something to eat, right? And we're going to talk about the business of SLCA. So I hope you join us if you're a member. And Tony Jenkins will tell us a little bit more about that a little later on this afternoon. And this afternoon after the service, we're going to have the Karamu welcome, our welcome Karamu. And this is going to be a celebration, an event with, again, potluck with foods with the colors of the African American cultural experience here in this wonderful land of ours, right? And everyone is invited, no matter what lampshade you're wearing. We are all a part of this wonderful event. And one of the best things that I really love about this event is that we get to honor a wonderful person who has found a place in my heart. When I talk about love and when I talk about the embodiment of love, that is truly the Reverend Ian Hill. And he's right there, right there. He is, yes, give it up for Reverend Ian Hill. He is the new Associate Minister of the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Atlanta, our gracious host that allows us to be able to have our services here. He is their new Associate Minister, and they won. They won, absolutely. All right, I will see you in a few. I've got new stuff to talk about that wonderful man named John Springer. See you in a few.
Give it up once again for John Stringer. That was a beautiful opening. It's so delightful to have you here. As I welcome Nana to the stage, I just want to set the tone, if you will. Let's just unpack where we were and just be in the room together, allowing our hearts to join together through song. Open your mind, unfold your heart, relax your senses, feel every part. You ain't got a thing to fear. Looks like love is growing here. So take your guard and let it down. Go deeper still until you come unwound, unbound. Breathe every breath, release your cringe. Love without waiting, slowly unhinge. You ain't got a thing to fear. Looks like love is growing here. So take your guard and let it down. Go deeper still until you come unwound, unbound.
This is the day that the Lord has made, and I have been breathed into it, for which I am grateful. I am one with this breath. I am one with this mind. I am one with this eternal one. And I am so grateful because I know that I can never be separated from it. Whatever comes my way, it is a lesson, and I give thanks in advance for what it teaches me. I give thanks for those moments when I thought I couldn't make it, but those were wonderful lessons that came, that helped me to unfold and help me to be all that I came here to be, knowing that I just shine. I hold up the mirror and I see the beauty in each one of you. I see the face of God before me, the hands of God around me, the presence of God that watches over each and every one of us. And with that, I am at peace. I fear nothing. I know that God is. Even in the apparent absence, God is. I release these words into the law, knowing that they do not come back to me void, that they are filled and they are already done, and so it is.
You can't stop waiting for love to find you. Look inside your heart. Love's already who you are. So lift up your voice. Let it be heard. Tell me your story, tell it to me. Don't leave out a word. 'Cause I think I have been there too, and I'm a seeker just like you. You ain't got a thing to fear. Looks like love is growing here. So take your guard and let it down. Go deeper still until you come unwound. Unbound. Thank you. Such a blessing. We have such a rich community, don't we? Please welcome to our platform, Koku Bowie, storyteller extraordinaire.
Thank you. This is an original piece. A client, a school, had asked me to do a story on the, what is it, the 7, not principles. What didn't
Not 7 deadly sins, sir.
Not the 7 deadly sins. The gifts of the Spirit.
Tell me, where are we going now? Where are we
Gifts
going?
of the Spirit.
A school, let's
Yes.
see. Dirty little rascals, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. No. I don't know.
The gifts of the Spirit. It was gifts of the Spirit.
Gifts of the Spirit, absolutely.
Yes, and so
that's what I was going to say.
Anyway, so I'm happy to have it now because I ended up writing this poem, and I hope it can speak to the themes of love. To love, I followed fear, for I saw myself dying, lying on a barren plot of earth, alone and forgotten, naked and afraid, no one knowing who I was or my worth. And where did fear lead me? To a place all alone, asphyxiated, empty, mere flesh and bone. I followed bitterness, for I felt I'd been wronged. How dare they? The audacity was my melody, my song. Bitterness led me to a mountain's peak. Icy winds chilled my soul. But there I stood in righteousness, isolated and cold. I followed war. I felt angered and justified. I could see all who had done wrong, their misdeeds, their lies. And where did war lead me? A killing field, a bloody sight. My own spirit dismembered and scattered from the long, exhausting fight. I followed impatience, and if I only knew, he would take me to a place that was lacking, and there were few who were wise or who had built. All around me was incomplete and undone. Yes, I followed impatience, ne'er to behold a risen sun. I followed intolerance. My standards were high. I would not accept what I deemed lesser. Nothing was as valuable as I. He took me to a city where none could see I was there. I screamed, but no one heard me. No one felt me. No one cared. I followed selfishness. My survival depended on it. She led me to an island where nothing dwelt upon it. Not a bird, not a flower, only sand and sea. Yes, I followed selfishness. I was left alone with me. I followed indulgence, deservedly so. I deserved all the things, and I wanted to show that I could do what I desired, no consequence at all, till I began suffocating from the immenseness of it all. I trailed behind lies, for no one need to know my shame, my pain, and she led me to a hole where she turned and pushed me in. I was stunned by the confusion, never found again, buried in illusion. Where greed went, so did I. There was not enough of what I needed. And when greed bid me make room, carry more, my back ached, but still I heeded. Gradually, my entire being was smashed, crushed by the enormous load. My dying wish that I could have shared, but greed's refuse was mine alone. I followed love, and the journey was long, but she was steadfast by my side all the way. She was patient and kind, encouraged me to take my time so I could express what I wanted to say. At the end of our journey, she pulled me to her, wiping tears that had flowed down my face. She guided me closer to rest on her lap and held me in her warm embrace. She rocked me gently back and forth, then leaned closer to whisper in my ear, "You are my beloved, my very own. Rest, for your journey begins here." Then others I not noticed encircled me in thanksgiving. Rejoicing seemed to rain from above, and we knew there'd be others arriving to this place in the journey, to peace, to joy, to love. Thank you.
Kokobui.
Wow, I am blown away. Thank you, Koku. You never stop surprising me with your beautiful heart and talent. And speaking of talent, I'm going to introduce a wonderful man, a friend, someone SLCA has known for 2 decades, right? I guess, yeah. John Stringer. John Stringer is a life teacher, a speaker, Billboard charting singer, songwriter, a healer, and an award-winning international best-selling author with a passion for music, community, and alignment with Source from moment to moment. He currently serves as a partner at Healing Arts Management and a host of the Alignment podcast. John speaks and performs around the world, supporting his Limitless Love and Light and Moment-to-Moment albums, along with his latest books, The Abundance Vibration, A Guide to Alignment, and the award-winning international bestseller, Inside Effects, Volume 2. John is also featured as a new thought leader in the new TV series, Navigating the Clickety-Clack, How to Live a Peace-Filled Life in a Seemingly Toxic World, along with John Vitale and others. You can learn more about John's offerings, including the upcoming Jamaican Transformation Vacation, held this March, Make sure you see John or Kathy, his beloved wife, at the table in the foyer for a great discount on the last 3 couple rooms available. Please join me in welcoming John Stringer.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for being here, darling.
Pleasure. Well, SLCA, first let me just say it is an honor to be back and an honor to hear that introduction because it's so humbling how the source of life has guided and blessed me with so many things I didn't expect to happen. So I'm giving thanks. And I want to start off by sharing the title of this talk with you. It is, Thy Will Be Done. Healing Historic Trauma and Birthing the New World. So, we all hopefully are attuned to what is happening in our world to some degree. Now, I don't mean you gotta be like tuned in and watching every second, but to some degree, we don't wanna have our heads in the sand, right? We wanna know a little bit of what's going on. And as the world continues to turn, we are poised for not only greatness, but transformative opportunities to remember who we are and why we are here. To take these ingredients of our stories as a society and turn historical trauma into current victory. To take our lives and fulfill our celestial blueprints, our destinies, in the best and highest way possible. So it begins, and so it continues, so it flows. So are you ready to remember together? All right, let's do that. Good to see some esteemed, beloved ones in the crowd, so many of you. So, remembering isn't just about seeing the past, right? Looking in the rear view and trying to steer the wheel. See, there is value to history without question. To learn, to appreciate, to celebrate, to honor, and to forgive, to heal, and to ensure we don't repeat these patterns and we understand our roles. That's the rear view mirror impact when used wisely. Now, as we look back, we can begin within ourselves and see how our childhood impacts our current behavior in forms of trauma, etc. And likewise, we can look at the world's history and see how it informs our trauma. In other words, the tentacles of trauma have an impact, just as it does in our lives today if we do not face and heal them. Now, here's the fun part. It's not about healing the outside, right? We learn that in science of mind. We learn that in many paths. It's not about healing the outside. What is it about? It's about going within and healing the inside. I call it shadow boxing. See, a lot of times we think shadow boxing is how we win, right? We see the outside, we think that's the answer, but it's not. In reality, the quality of our thinking is where we win. So let's talk about it. The quality of our thinking informs the quality of our experience. This is why the same situation or event can occur and be interpreted in so many different ways by so many of us. From politics, religion, history, conditioned thinking explains the difference in how we perceive and the experience we create. However, just as we learn that our emotional responses, our energetic responses, and our capacity to live the lives of our dreams is directly informed by the quality of our thinking, so too is our collective experience informed by the quality of collective thinking. Thus, when we look in the rearview mirror and we choose thoughts of victimization and separation, what do you think the experience will be? The quality of our thinking informs the quality of our experience. When we teach our youth the story in the rearview mirror, do we teach a story of healing, forgiveness, unity, and equal responsibility? Or do we teach division, separation, victim consciousness, and oppression? What do I mean by this? I'm talking about superiority and inferiority that gets hijacked by the ego. You see, there's a valid concern when teaching Black history, a valid concern that we in the spiritual community, as Black, white, or other, may overlook and miss an opportunity for compassion. Take, for example, Florida. Yes, I'm gonna go there. I don't usually like to talk about politics, but Spirit said do it, so I'm just gonna do it. So let's take a look at the Woke Act. Anybody familiar with the Woke Act? 2022 Florida law HB 7 Individual Freedom Act that restricts how race, racism, gender, and social privilege can be taught in schools and used in workplace trainings, especially if institutions might make students or employees feel guilt, anguish, or responsibility because of their race or sex. Now, what is that law trying to do? What's the intention? That's what I want to look at. It defines discrimination to include exposing people in certain settings to ideas such as one race or sex is inherently privileged or oppressive, that individuals bear responsibility for past injustice committed by members of their race, or that people should feel guilt or psychological distress because of their race or sex. That's the written intention, right? Now, the impact critics have a different view on. The impact is that it is barring teachers from teaching history for fear of repercussions in funding and all sorts of things. K through 12 higher ed instructors feel they're being barred from espousing, promoting, and advancing or compelling beliefs that help students see a bigger picture. However, the intention is to stop them from sharing a belief in 8 specified race and sex related concepts. We won't go into all of them because that will be here a while technically allow them to be discussed in an objective manner. Now, this is what I want to share. These intentions, when you look at the heart of them, it's easy to look at these intentions and judge them. But I would say many of us have judged them a little too harshly because I believe the intent makes sense. The intention at the heart is to prevent divisiveness and guilt and shame. What do I mean by that? I'm here to tell you, I think racism gets used in a divisive way that doesn't empower and that disempowers. This might be a surprise to some of you. White privilege, for example. White privilege for me, when I listen to Spirit, is the same privilege we all have to be alive. Doesn't mean we don't face challenge. Doesn't mean we don't face the unique stories each of us have been given, but it means we're not a victim. And there isn't superiority or inferiority. There is oneness expressing in its divinity. And as soon as we begin to accuse someone of being privileged because you were born white, oh, wait a minute. Let's see what we're really doing here. What does that lead to? Whenever a tool is used to make someone feel guilt and shame, that's a lower level frequency. That's not empowering, that's disempowering. Am I saying it's right or wrong? No. I'm just calling a spade a spade. It becomes a lower frequency that we introduce. But the same tool can be used to empower. How? To inform that there is a difference being expressed, there is bias based on certain things, and to inform without causing guilt and shame is empowering. How? You can actually teach the same thing without creating division. How can we do that? Oh, look at history and see it's not about white privilege, it is about oppression. We have misdirected the intended education. You empower people to see the system, not make them feel guilty and imply that they are the problem. That is guilt. That is hijacking the intent and taking it off the rails and creating divisiveness. At no point is Black history designed to divide us. And people are standing up and saying, we don't want that for our kids. I say, hallelujah. Now, here is the challenge. Can you take it too far? Yes. There has to be a balance. I'm not here to stand up and act like I have cracked the code and know exactly how it needs to be done and prescribe that to everyone other than one thing. We must let love lead the way. If it's not unifying, it's not aligned with love. If it's not empowering, it's not aligned with love. Now, to try to protect us psychologically, that's not aligned with love. Let me tell you what I'm talking about. Healing trauma is not comfortable. So we cannot decide we're not going to look at history and let our children look at what has happened because it's not comfortable. That's swinging the pendulum too far, right? In order to heal trauma, I can tell you, that's called denial. And it leads to what? Dysfunction. Love says, hold my hand as I go into this discomfort and look at what I don't want to see. Hold my hand as I learn to be present with what is ugly to me and transform my consciousness so that I can choose a higher way of seeing this and bring presence, love, and appreciation, acceptance, and transformation, metanoia, changing my mind. As I bring that presence, the alarm lets me know it's time. It's time to be the change and awaken as the source of life seeks to express wholeness and integration, not just racially, but through consciousness, through all parts of what we've created, its own creation, so we can see that it is for us without exception. So we teach our kids to look at history so they can be the eyes of the divine and transform how they've seen what we have created, to see the perfection that if it didn't happen this way, we wouldn't have the opportunity we have today. We wouldn't have the opportunities for the Martin Luther King Jr.'s. We wouldn't have the opportunities for the Malcolm X. We wouldn't have the opportunities for the John Stringers. We wouldn't have the opportunities for the SLCA unless these ingredients had been created the way they've been created. That is perfection for now. But we can't drive in the rear view mirror misidentifying and misperceiving what has been created and expect to get somewhere new. Right? What the source of life is calling us to do is recognize the oneness, the perfection, and the power we are. To awaken to that, history is a beautiful way to do it. Give you an example. Had a wonderful guidance to go into my past prior to 3 years old, things I couldn't remember. Was guided to a gentleman to kind of be my coach, be my spotter. You know how when you go in the gym, you see those big guys in the gym, and they're like, oh, spot me real quick. And you got to get somebody over there to help them lift it because it's too heavy for them. But the reason they do that, do you know why? It helps them go beyond their max, their maximum load. It helps them break the muscle fiber beyond anything they could do alone so that they can get greater gains. So you get your spotter. I got spirit telling me, get your spotter. This guy called it therapy. He spotted me to go deep within, guiding me to look at what I didn't want to look at, what I denied and buried. And it became very uncomfortable. Took 3 sessions for that history to come up, and all of a sudden I'm there and I'm experiencing something that was so uncomfortable. I had suppressed it, buried it, and it had continued to create a cycle of dysfunction in my life all the way into my 50s. Once I was able to bring it up, he helped me stay present, spotted me as I aligned with the source of life. And I asked what I need to know. The pain came up. I could see what was happening in that moment. As a young kid that I tried to force out my mind and I let it come up. I cried. I felt it fully. And it began to transform. I began to see the energy of it as this dark, almost evil thing shift and change. And I began to see that the I am was never separate from that instance. And it transformed into something divine that let me see I was on all sides, within and throughout, as the I am itself. There was no victim. And it transformed my consciousness to see there was beauty even in this. And that God is always there. Love is always there. Now when I look back on it, I have no pain. It transformed into something beautiful. But where does that transformation come from? The I am. What am I saying here? I'm not telling you that you have to choose one way or the other because one way is right or wrong, that there is a path that you must take. You can choose whatever you want when looking at history. But as the old saying goes, you can be right or you can be happy. It's up to you. Happiness comes from the path that brings harmony and sees perfection and transforms the whole so that we see there is only God the good. Happiness comes from knowing that all is well and always is. So when we're looking at what is coming and being revealed, we can either choose to stand up, protest, fight, and continue creating the experience at a lower level, which is fine, perfect. Or we can ask, what is mine to do to bring healing? And suddenly we begin to see a path that transforms and lets us know, reminds us, there is nothing out of divine order. Never could be, never will be. Even the nefarious reality and the benevolent reality dance in a hole of yin and yang, bringing us an opportunity to choose. And the quality of our thinking informs the quality of our experience. So if we want to up-level, if we want to graduate, we have the opportunity to graduate. Graduate from what? From the lower level school of creating separation and disempowerment. From the lower level school of creating suffering. Suffering is optional. We get to opt out, right? We do not throw the baby out with the bathwater, as they say, nor do we effectively teach history from a standpoint of aggrandization of trauma, where we elevate and magnify its perceived significance to the point that it defines a person or people's identity to overshadow their current opportunity. Yes, historical trauma can explain a lot, but it can be healed and free us from its tentacles instead of defining us. It can help empower us by explaining why we have behaved the way we have now, allowing us to shift our perspective of the past, heal the separation, and be free of the fears. This is not merely an academic pursuit. It is one of consciousness to elevate our consciousness, our frequency, and our energy through working with higher levels of our power, the divine as we call it. This is where we are the light bearers of our ancestors and get to bring out the healing they did their best to bring about as they clear and cheer in our very DNA to remind us of who we are. This is our opportunity to truly remember we are one and the same. We are not victim versus oppressor. We are the answer to the healing of all history. Don't be distracted by the petty squabbles and disagreements. Instead, have compassion for those stuck in old ways of fear, limited condition thinking, and old models, for now is the time to step into the new human, the new earth, the new consciousness. As the old saying goes, don't let them fool you, oh no, or even try to school you. Start with the man, the woman, the soul in the mirror, and we'll find our way. Namaste. My little lanyards hung on, didn't they? One of them's trying to escape. I'm gonna have to bring them back. So I wore this today because it represents, I'm gonna take this off, by the way. It represents the fulfillment of a dream. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I feel like James Brown. Thank you. It represents the fulfillment of a dream long held, inspired by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. When I went to West Point Military Academy for my first year and realized I wasn't a soldier. Then I transferred to Morehouse College, the esteemed, illustrious Morehouse College from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Because he was such an inspiration in my life. And I thought, as a young man, what is greatness? And greatness to me was the impact you could have in humanity. And the impact he'd had that I'd studied was so powerful. And I know he was inspired by none other than Gandhi and the nonviolence movement that Gandhi led. So I went to Morehouse College, graduated. Thank you. And I learned about historical trauma, oppression. My wife and I put together a course about aligned relationships, only love. And what it points to is the power. That's what this song's about. Check it out. I'm gonna make a change. for once in my life. It's gonna feel real good. It's gonna make a difference. It's gonna make it right. As I stand up the collar on my favorite winter coat, this wind is blowing my mind. I see the kids in the street without enough to eat. Who am I to be blind, pretending not to see their need? Well, some must disregard somebody's broken heart in a washed out dream. They followed each other on the wind, you see, 'cause they got no place to be. That's why I'm starting with me. I'm starting with the man in the mirror. Hey, I'm asking him to change his ways. Come on, I know a message could have been any clearer. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and then make that change. Woo! Woo! Na 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 na. I've been a victim of a selfish kind of love. It's time that I realize, hey, there are some with no home, not a nickel to loan. Or could it be really me, pretending not to see their needs? Or it'll deeply scarred somebody's broken heart in one man's soul. They followed each other on when you know, 'cause they got no place to go. That's why I want you to know I'm starting with the man in the mirror. Hey, I'm asking him to change his ways. And your message could have been any clearer. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and then make the change. You gotta get it right while you got the time. When you close your heart, then you close your mind. That man with that man in the mirror, oh yes. I said I'm asking him to change his ways. And no message could have been any clearer. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and then make that change. Woo! Woo! Na 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 na. I'm gonna make that change today. Woo! Make that change. Gotta lift yourself. You know it. Hey, you got to stand up and lift yourself, mama. Make that change. Make that change.
I don't deserve that message that we just received in that music. That's, oh, thank you, thank you, thank you, John Stringer. That touched me in ways that I can't even begin to unpack, and hopefully I will continue to think over that and go through that as the week continues. Hello. My name is Tony Jenkins. I'm My pronouns are he and him. I'm vice president on the board, and I'm also one of the practitioners here at Spiritual Living Center of Atlanta. And I come to you today just to kind of just go through some things that we are about to discuss and talk about in our town hall that's coming up on March 22nd. And so the first thing is you should have received an email from Shannon Pruitt stating that you're going to get another opportunity, email that's going to say, this is the vote for our next spiritual director. That will be coming out on March 16th, all right? And so I want to talk a little bit about what does that mean and what is that about. The vote will be done electronically. For those who may have issues with using electronic means, please see a board member. And if there are any board members present today, stand so we can see who they are, or see Shannon Pruitt. And we will work with you to make sure that you can get your vote counted. You will also notice that in that email, we've changed the verbiage just a little bit in how we presented things. And I just wanted to be transparent about that decision came after we had a meeting with CSL, which is a parent company of our organization, that stated to us, the board, that it is part of our duty to make a recommendation for what we believe is the best interest of SLCA. And so to follow into that alignment, we have presented this as we will be either voting for or saying no to having Reverend Gene Bell as the spiritual director of our center. That's how the vote will be structured, and that's what you're going to read when you get that email. Then you're going to mark which one you want, and then that will be received and that will be counted. And then on our town hall meeting, we will announce that decision at that time. All right. Again, for those who are not internet savvy, please see us. If you do not receive this email by March 16, please make sure you get to with either Shannon or one of the board members so that we can make sure we get you into the process so that you can make your vote. If there's any questions, please make sure you see me, Elizabeth, or anyone else on the board, and we will be sure to answer those as we can. So let's now take a collective breath and just step into this time that we bring for grateful giving. I don't know about you, but I was very touched by this message that we were given today. And I'm so grateful to have a place like Spiritual Living Center of Atlanta that brings messages in this manner and uplifts and gets us to think and brings us back to love. And so in that continuation of that, I want you, if you value what you received today, give. However you need to. There's several ways up on the board to do that. You know the drill. We also got receptacles that you can also drop your checks or your cash if that's how you need to do it as well. But however you choose, we are grateful and we will receive. And so if you want to take out your card that represents your pledge, if that's what you have, and place that over your heart, and then we're going to say our affirmation together. I live in the universe of abundance as I freely and joyfully give. I join in a divine flow, and all that I share with life returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so it is. Thank you.
Thank you, Tony. It's terrific information. What a great day we are having. I invite you to stand if it feels comfortable to do so. Let's conclude our service singing together our closing song. We envision a world that works for everyone and for all of creation. We see all people all beings as expressions of God. We see a world that works for everyone. We envision a world that works for everyone and for all of creation. We see all people, all beings as expressions of God. We see a world that works for everyone. We see a world that works for everyone. We see a world that works for everyone. Everyone. Make sure you say hello to John and Koku, and let's see you downstairs. We got a big event taking place.